Hello there, Fuzzy Avengers. How are you doing? I hope you're finding this week to be a good one. Welcome in. Hope everybody's having a good day. And if you're not, I hope it gets better for you. If you're doing good, that's awesome. Yeah. Fuzzy Adventures. That's a cool name you got there. Fuzzy Wuzzy. Have you ever heard of him? Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. I just hopped on. I thought I'd come on here and see who was on here today. Let's see. I'm looking all rough, but it's okay. I've been running around to doctors today. And it's been one of them days. But I'm still blessed. Well, I hope everybody's doing good. It's a nice day here. It really is. It's been nice. Hope it's nice wherever y'all are too. Okay. Let's see. My birthday is at the end of it. Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah. I don't think I've ever saw you live. I don't think I have. You need to go live, yeah, when you can. I know sometimes, it gets hard. It's been hard for me here lately to do YouTube. And I have missed a lot of people, but, I'm sorry. I've had a lot of things going on. And a lot of times people don't understand that, and that's fine. You kind of find out who your people is, Or I have. I've been going. You've been crying. Hey there, how are you? It's so good to see you. You leave the sweetest comments. You always uplift me, with your comments. So sweet. And I'm glad to see you in here. Yeah, you're a very sweet person. And I always look for your comments. Let's see. Hey, Ray. No, we don't do it here, Ray. Let's be realistic. Hey, Roy. How are you? The journey of Melissa. Yep. I will appreciate it. Ray, we're not going to do that. Let's talk realistic and be real, or you will be blocked. My Uncle Bruce. Need to do that. I'm so sorry to hear that. It's been a while. Yeah, it's nice to see you too, Roy. Nice to talk to you. It has been a while. Yeah, I'm doing all right. It's been it's been up and down. I've had some doctor appointments today, and I had to fast. And that lady said, I don't see how you do it, because it was 12 hours. and I had to go to a couple doctor's appointments, and I just now got me an iced coffee just a little bit ago. That lady said, I said, I just can't wait to get me an iced coffee. She said, you don't want no food? I said, no, just an iced coffee. She said, do you drink those frappes or something? I said, I've never had a frappe. And so I told her, I said, I just drank the iced coffee for 99 cents on the app. No, I don't either, and I got a lot of them. I mean, today was 2, but I got 2 more this week. So, and I got some all month long. You got a lot too, honey. I'll be praying for you. Because you know, sometimes it gets rough, don't it? It really does. I know I've been kind of emotional. Yes, it does, honey. Hello there. How are you doing? Welcome in. But I hope your doctor's appointments go well. I will keep you in mind, as well. Yes. I'm doing all right. Thank you for asking. I hope you're doing, well, you said you was doing fine. I'm glad you're doing fine. Yes, I'll definitely keep you in my thoughts and prayers too, because we all need them, We definitely need them prayers. I've been reading my Bible. I got it right here. And it says, add a sticker. Have any pets? I'll do that one. It puts it right on my forehead, I think. You're very welcome. But yeah, it's been last month has been, sure. Yes. Where are you from? If you don't mind me asking you. But yeah, it's been definitely with everything that's going on. I know. Yeah, I stopped a while ago. I had to. With all the build up, sometimes we have to just, stop, pull over, and pray. And that's what I did. And I prayed from, I just poured my heart out right there. And I know I pray throughout the day and at night and, all the time. But I really needed to pray a while ago, so I pulled over and that's what I done. Sometimes we just need it. I don't know. It's just a special talk with God. Even though we pray all the time, it's just different. If you know, you know. And I hope everybody knows. Yeah, I know what you mean. Sometimes the devil does try that. Been trying it on me some too, and you go through the emotions and he'll try to sneak one on you if he can. That's what he does. But I let him have it while ago. Don't you think I didn't? I just told God, I just poured my heart right on out to God. He likes to keep us distracted with just about anything. Anything he can find to distract us, get us away from God, he will. Psalm 46:10 keeps popping up around me. Psalm 46:10. Yeah, be still and know and that, yes. Yeah, and the one I read a while ago, away. I've had a man. I don't know if I posted this one yet though. No, I haven't. He will make a way. That one was good too because it's oh so true. Isaiah 43:19, King James Version. That's what's coming up next. This little coloring book has been a blessing to me, and I would have never dreamed it because I don't really like to color, or I didn't think I did. And I really love this little coloring book because you just have a simple picture, and I studied that Bible verse, and it has really helped me. I encourage anything that helps you read the Bible, do it. 43:19, yes, right here, Isaiah. King James Version. He will make a way. Hey there, Jax. How are you? Welcome in. I hope you're doing well. But that was a blessing. You're very welcome. Do you like to color? I mean, I like to color little simple stuff like this. It does help your, when you got a lot on your mind. And, that's right, amen. I really didn't think I liked to color. And anymore. Yeah, I've been doing it. Oh, have you? And dogs adore them. I saw some Bible verse coloring books. I think it was at the Dollar General, but all Dollar Generals are different. You know what? I was the same way. And I thought, I'm not going to color, Well, I got this coloring book from the Bible bookstore. And I just took off with it. I love it. So you might want to try it. Get you some simple, simple coloring. Simple, something simple. I like simple. My first last name was a cat. Hey, that's awesome. Yes. But get you something simple like this, and it'll help you. It helps take your mind off stuff, and then you got a verse to study. And you can post it too, because that verse might help somebody. And if it just helps one person, hey, it's worth it. Yeah, please do that. I thought it was silly, kind of, I thought, well, I've never liked coloring, so why would I like it now? And so I started coloring, and I really like it. Do you stream every day? I do not, honey, no. If you don't, I don't mind you asking. I don't stream every day. And I got a diamond painting I've been working on. It's beautiful too. It says, let's see. Jesus is the way to heaven, but faith unlocks the door. It's beautiful. And I knocked all my little diamonds off the other night, and I was like, OMG. Oh my goodness. Yes, that is so true, isn't it? You're frustrated because my morning time used to be my Bible work, and now I am doing. Yeah, when you get in a routine like that, you do get frustrated. You're doing it in the evening. I do mine. Well, I did some last night. I just do mine whenever. Yeah, that's right. I was praying a while ago, and I covered just about everything I could, and I was just like you know, just a mess, and it's bad. I'm not trying to be negative Nelly, but the truth is the truth. And if people can't see the signs out there, I don't know what to tell them, because it's right in front of them, in front of us all. All this cruel stuff that's going on, and all the stuff, it seems like the people that's got a lot of money, I'm talking a lot of money, they got all this power to do this stuff, and I think that they get bored because they got so much money that they can buy anything that they want and practically do anything they want, and a lot of evil comes in. But it's not just the people that's got money neither. It's everywhere, and it's bad. And it's sad, it's a sad world that we're living in. I just pray that everybody gets right with God. Salvation. Yep. I can't make nobody, I've not seen anything like that. But I would not have no partake in that myself. Mm-mm. I know who heals the sick, And I do have my, views on the political stuff, but I don't talk about it much because God's got to say anyway. You saw it on, I'm not on that. You have to go. Okay, you have a good one. No, I'm not on the X thing. I've heard of it, but I don't know how to work that. I like this. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Bye. You come back sometime, okay? I hope you have a wonderful and blessed day. And say your prayers. If you're anything like me, you have to. I will, and you too. Don't worry, I'll be praying. But yeah, it's a nice day here. What's the weather like where you guys are? I'm going to find my chapstick. I had to get blood work. Big deal, Been doing that all my life. Let me put this on. So I put my chapstick on. It's going to be raining here off and on. Where are you at, Fuzzy? I don't know if we're supposed to get rain or not. It's so pretty here right now, though. At this moment. Oh, you're in Missouri. Okay. Is it cold there? We got a little breeze today, but it's right at 80 degrees out there. Well, I hope y'all, I mean, we need rain. We do around here. Everything's so dry. We have some areas that are flooded. It's 89 degrees. Wow, y'all must be getting a lot of rain out there, huh? We haven't had rain in a couple of days. Probably a week. That's what I'm saying. We probably do need some because everything's dried. I mean, I don't want no floods, but you know, need a little bit of rain too to equal it out. We need these flowers to grow. They say April showers bring May flowers. We've not had a lot of April showers. That's a mouthful. April showers. April showers bring May flowers. There is some pretty flowers out though. But I don't know what we're going to do if we don't get them April showers. I guess we'll just do without, huh? I had a phone call, so just want to follow. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. I understand. I'm not going to be on here much longer. I just thought I would jump on and chit chat a little bit because it's good to talk every once in a while. Yeah, we are going to be planting flowers. Oh, yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah, that'd be really nice. I'm not going to plant no flowers. I'll just color them in, in this coloring book. Why don't they help people who need it instead of using it? Yeah, I don't know. It makes you wonder, don't it? That and when I have time off from work. Yes. Yeah, it does make you wonder why. You know, it does. Thank you for the hearts. I see them all over there going up sometimes. I had to get my rear end going today. And tomorrow I got things. It doesn't pay to talk about it anyway. Well, if you need to talk about it, I'm always here, you know. I feel like that a lot. I keep a lot of things to myself because it just, you know, I just talk about it to God. But, you know, I thank God. I know God, you know, He understands that we need to talk to humans too. Yes. Yep. It takes me a long time to get comfortable to actually talk to somebody. I might talk with them and about things, but I don't really let it out. Gosh, if I did, they'd probably be sitting there in shock. Like, this girl's a nutcase, you know. Hello there, how are you doing? Welcome in. I hope you're doing well today. You lost my live? Well, you must have found it because I see you typed, I lost your live. You know, it feels good to come on and talk and laugh a little bit. It does. Yeah, I took my camera off of me. Yeah, I did. You lost your cat. I'm sorry about that. Your catty. You know, I've never had a cat. I don't know a lot about them. But I have been thinking about cats. We need to do that. Yeah. Yes, we all need to talk and laugh, you know. And I used to be, you know, I used to laugh all the time. I did. And now I'm just like, you need to find some humor, you know. That's what I tell myself. I might come on here and laugh with y'all, but I really don't laugh much. Yeah, laughter is medicine. Yes, it is. Sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry you lost your cat. I mean, did you like lose it, like it passed away, or did it run away? I do too, but I don't laugh like I used to, no. I think sometimes we let life get to us and we just get too serious. God wants his people to be happy and he wants them to laugh. And there's no sin in that whatsoever. Nothing wrong with laughing and cutting up. I mean, now you can, you know, there's sometimes people get out of line, if you know what I mean, and you don't want to hear that crap. And I ain't gonna listen to it. It's like I'm nice to I'm not nice. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be getting 3 new cats next month from her. I've been looking for me a cat. But I want the right one that matches up, you know, because I think everybody's different. Animals have personalities. They do. And I want to get a cat that matches my personality. Whatever that is. I got about 100 of them. So it shouldn't be hard for me to find a cat, right? I try to find something to laugh about every day. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear about your dad. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad you got it back. You know, I ain't got mine back yet. I can't lie and tell you I do because I don't. It's like you grieve. Sometimes we grieve people that's still alive. You can do that. I do it. You can grieve people that's still alive. And I miss my Remy something awful. Oh my goodness. I still got his bed back there. I won't take it out right now. And it's been September. I miss him something awful. I was so afraid of her. Yeah, I get like that. I don't really think about laughter. You got a cat and you got a cat and a dog. The cat and dogs friends is open to anyone to post their cats. Oh, okay. Yeah, they are like family. Yes. Me and Remy was so close. I could just look at him and he'd look at me and we would just both know. I think that dog and God is the only two things on this earth that ever understood me. Well, that's That's a word there, huh? He was cute. Yes, oh my goodness. He was perfect. I mean, he was the perfect size, the perfect color. He was perfect. He just smart. And I know, we all love our pets and we all think the best, and that's okay. If the next person says, well, my dog, and, because that person feels the same way about theirs. My cat Harley needs some new friends to play with, so we are getting 3. Well, she'll have plenty then, won't she? I love animals too. Yes, I do. Cats and dogs. I've never owned a cat, so I would have to Google every little single thing about a cat. But I'm kind of open to getting me one because, from what I hear, they're pretty easy to take care of. You feed them, water them, and their litter box. I do too. I love cats and dogs. Even fish. I like fish tanks too, but I don't have one, no. I might be getting a dog named Milo. Hey, that's awesome. Yes, that's what I've been told right there, is they are more independent than dogs. That would be so awesome. I'll know when I come across the right cat. I hadn't been looking though. I have to be honest. I hadn't actually been looking. Like I hadn't been out to where there's cats looking. Pick up one of them strays and they'll claw you. That's how crazy I am. I see a stray cat. Oh, honey, do you need a home? Next thing you know, here I am with big old claw marks all over me. That would be me. I like fish, but don't like clean. You got that right. That's a job, ain't it? I had a fish when I was young. It was a goldfish, and I promise you, that goldfish lived forever. I thought, oh my God, it's never going to die. Not that I really wanted it to, but I bet you that thing lived 8 or 9 years. It lived a long time. And it started little, and it got that big. The biggest goldfish I ever saw. I was just a young girl, God rest its soul. It finally died, I guess. It's horrible when you have to clean. Yeah, it is. And after that, I've had fish tanks. But I don't want no fish. I'm not going around talking no fish. I'll just talk to God, and be done with it. I bet you took good care of it. I did. I loved that fish. I fed that little fish every day, and it ended up getting big. Bertha Bean's cat, and you can hang out with the cats. That's awesome. Yeah, I love that fish, Roy. I didn't think it'd live that long though, but it got big. But it was the only fish in that tank, and it was a 10-gallon tank, but it was the only fish in there. And I've heard that the bigger the tank, and if it's just like a single fish, it'll live longer and it'll get bigger. Yeah, I love that fish, but I don't want no more of them. I've seen my days cleaning them fish tanks, and they are a job. Take that gravel out and clean it, and yeah. You can't be having no dirty fish tank. I like to look at them though every once in a while if I go to the pet store and they got fish. Some of them got them neon colors, and you know it's interesting to watch them. I've not saw any fish in a while though. I like to go fishing, even though I don't eat fish. I still like to go fishing. I'd rather go fishing than I would clean a fish tank. Or even own one for that matter. Yeah, I don't think that's too bad though. I don't normally stay gone. You know what I'm saying? And heck, you can scoop out that, you know, you can scoop out what don't need to be in there. Now my mom, she had all of her dogs trained to to kitty litter always. She didn't have no pads or nothing like that in her house. She had a Maltese and a Pomeranian, and they both used kitty litter. And you didn't even know she had pets in the house. Now, whenever they would get in with, get in the box, the little pan she had, and get out, they would get some of that litter on the floor, but it's still better than, I think it's better than pads. And I think a lot of people's going to those pellets dogs. Yeah, I've been there. Oh goodness, with Remy, I was in the hospital. I know what you're saying. You kind of got to look out for yourself, especially when you don't have nobody. Yeah, I was in the hospital in Remington. He liked to have a fit, but my daddy watched him. That's been back in 2018. Now, my daddy wouldn't now. He wouldn't watch no dogs now. He said, he came to the hospital, he said, I don't know. He said, that dog's just a howling. And I was like, here I am in the hospital with the IV and get ready to have surgery and everything. I can't just get out and go home, Bless his heart. It was a moment, bless his heart. I go back to that moment sometime that he was serious too. He said, I don't know, that dog, he just keeps howling. I don't really have anyone who would step in. So that's why I don't have. Yeah. I don't have nobody either that would actually, especially like a dog. A dog has to be fed, a couple times a day. And water and, yeah, all that. Now, cats, I don't know nothing. I probably should be at a cat shelter or whatever, animal shelter. Looking for me a cat, right? I would like to rescue a cat that needs a home. I would give it a good home. But I don't want a cat that gets like 20 pounds or nothing like that. It's hard to pick up because my back gives me a problem. If a cat would stay about 8 or 10 pounds maybe, Yeah, I'm gonna go to the animal shelter. Yeah, yeah. I went and looked at a dog at the animal shelter, and me and that dog didn't click, so I left it. Hey there, Rocky. You got two dogs? That's good. Yes, mine hurts. Mine's hurting right now. It just aches and deep hurt. And sometimes when I try to get up, I can't. And yes, I do too, Rocky. I love mine to pieces too. Well, when I had him. But yeah, then back problems give. My hips are hurting and back. Always, it starts down my spine. Oh, and it hurts so bad. It goes into the lower part of my back and my wrists and my elbows and my shoulders. But my back, sometimes whenever I go to stand up, it'll catch and it won't let me stand straight up. It's not fun. It's not. No, it's not. And people don't understand that. And that's the hardest part of it all, because you get called lazy, you get called this, you get called that, because they don't have that and they don't understand it. But I totally get that they don't understand it neither, because if I didn't have it, I wouldn't understand it. But you shouldn't judge from afar neither. Yeah, I get strong attachment to them. And older I get, the worse I get with stuff like that. Yeah, me too. Oh boy, that getting soft stuff, I'm telling you. I didn't used to be so soft like I am. No, they don't. Yes, that's why yeah, I get judged all the time. You're lazy, you're this, you're that. Oh my God, you can do better. That's what I hear all the time. You know what I said? There ain't a person on the face of this earth that can't do better. Don't be telling me that I need to do better when I know exactly you need to do better too. A lot easier to live a life looking. It is from a distance. And sitting there judging somebody, well, they can do this and they can do that. Well, you might be out there doing this and doing that only by God's grace. Are you even blinking your eyes? Ain't it all we need? A little act, right? Yes. Just wait till they get older and have health use. Exactly. But you know what? They don't have to be older. I mean, things can set in. I don't wish it on nobody, though. No. But sometimes when, I used to be bad when I was in my 20s and 30s, and I wasn't a nice person, and I don't like that person. And I would judge people. Yes, I did. If I saw a fat somebody, yeah, that fat cow over there, you know what I'm saying? I gained a bunch of weight. So I'm here to tell you what. You got to watch yourself. Because you'll be walking in them shoes and then some. You got to watch what you say. That's right. You know what? God has taught me that. He has showed me that right there. He's humbled my heart. I thank the Lord I'm still able to move around some. Ain't as lucky as me. Yeah, that's true. Yep, you're so right. I think a lot of times people forget how blessed they are. Like, when you get out of bed, that's a blessing. When you open your eyes, that's a blessing. When you blink your eyes, that's a blessing. When you move your fingers, your feet, when you walk, that's a blessing. We got so many blessings. Yes, we are. We're very much blessed. Yeah, that's very true, Rocky. That's very true. You too, Rocky. Thank you for coming in. Yes, me too. I'm thankful. Yeah, I don't like that mess. You don't want to bring it around me because I won't have it. You know, I'm a sweet, good-hearted person, and I know that in my heart and soul. But if you're going to make fun of people and belittle them, I'm not that person. You just go on with yourself thinking you're perfect because you ain't. And sometimes things comes right out of my mouth. They don't even go up to my brain. But I'm a quiet person. Yeah, it would be hard for me to keep my mouth shut too. I get tired of ugly people, and God don't like ugly. And when you send over cracking jokes about somebody, I don't know. I do know, but I'm just gonna hush. I'm just not the person to come to talking about other people. Especially when they can't help it. I mean, come on now. But you got so many people out there that's ugly like that. It makes them feel powerful, I reckon. Because they can put somebody else down for their weight, for their hair, for their clothes, for their car, for their home. When, it can all be taken away from them any second. I do too. Yeah, I stay to myself too. I don't have a lot to do with a lot of people. And sometimes people really shows their true colors over little things. And you know what? That's God showing you. That's not your people. Stay away. Sometimes when people go quiet, they have to. Yeah, Fuzzy, that's true. I can talk. Yeah, they are. And you actually have to deal with those kind of people in order to understand those. Once you've dealt with one of those people, you won't forget it, and you'll be able to spot them more easy. That's really probably not a word, but still, you'll be able to spot them, understand it more. Yeah, that's so true. They will make you think that you're going crazy. And most of the time, people sees you as the problem because they don't know the whole story. Most people don't care to hear your story. They just want to, especially if it's like one of their loved ones or something. They don't want to hear it. I've dealt with stuff like that since I was. I hate to hear that, Fuzzy, but I'm glad that you have realized. Yeah, I've dealt with it too, and it's a mess. It'll make you a different person on the inside. It's not that you hate people, it's just that, you don't trust as easy, which is probably a good thing this day and time. And you got to watch who you talk to, like on social media, and what you tell them, because a lot of times a listening ear is a running mouth. Yeah, I do too. I do too. Yeah, you bet we'll have to. Not that you don't love them. It's just that all you can do is love them from afar and pray for them. That's all you can do. Don't think other people don't see it neither, because they do. I think we do, yeah. You got to be cautious too. I've noticed about people. I'm glad you did too. About like when people are curious about you, a lot of times they're not. They really don't even care. They just want to be nosy so they can go and tell somebody else. And God ain't smiling about stuff like that. You need to check yourself and get your heart right, because it ain't right when you do that. Yep. I don't run with a circle of people. I could run by myself, because I know God's got my back. Now, I like people, and I don't mind talking to, certain people, but I don't think God expects us, or, to run like in a pack, because a lot of times that's where a lot of gossip gets started. Next thing you know, they're talking about everybody, but they're not looking in the mirror at themselves. And I can't judge anybody, because I've made so many mistakes, I can't be nobody's judge. I can't stand it neither. Now, if somebody needs to vent or something, okay, that's fine. But I don't care to hear about what somebody else done, Because sometimes, people can hurt other people, and somebody needs to they might need to get it off their chest. But a lot of times, like when groups get started talking together and they just talk to each other, a lot of times that's where gossip starts. And I don't want nothing to do with it, and I won't be in no kind of group that does that. If you're that kind of person, I don't want you telling me nothing about God. Now, that's the way I am. That's like the preacher. When I go listen to him, I don't want nothing to do with it either. If that preacher up there, I know he's not perfect. I already know that. But if my preacher up there that's preaching to me, and he's telling me what the Bible says, he needs to be living by that Bible. He needs to be living by the example he just gave me. And I know he's not perfect. I'm not saying that. But If you're going to get up and preach to me, you need to try your best to be living by what you're preaching to the to the congregation. If not, you need to sit down and go on about yourself. Same goes for gossiping too. I don't want to hear if Sally Sue went live the same time you did. Because I go live whenever I can. And it's not to like overlap somebody that's already live. Because there's so many people going live, there's no way you could keep up with them. And I don't schedule my lives because I have no use for it. No, nobody's perfect. And I understand that. But I know some preachers personally that they will just read you the Bible and explain it to you the way that they see it. And then, honey, it's just a different outfit, the way they live. And then I know some that, actually does try their best to live by what they tell you. So, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I went in this one church, and it ain't been that long ago, and I had been there several times, and the same three ladies, they said together, they said, "Who's that?" I just kept walking. Then they come back there, and that night we had at that church, we had a guest speaker, a preacher, a guest. They come back there and they was like, "Hey, how are you?" And I'm like, "I'm fine, how are you doing?" Because I done heard what they said. "Who's that?" You don't do that in church. You just don't do that. I'm so against that. Kind of, because if there's somebody that God's really dealing with and they walk into that church, maybe to get saved, you may have just hindered them and they might just turn around and walk out. But, I just went on. I got in my seat and sat down. Well, they come over and they was like, and they asked me if I was the preacher's wife, the one that was preaching. I said no. I didn't tell them who I was because I didn't heard what they said. And so I just went on about my business, and I pray for those ladies. And I still go back to that church. Yeah, that's what they said. There's three of them, it says together, and it was like, "Who's that?" I just smiled and I just walked on, because you don't do that in church. No. But, I just prayed for them, because a lot of times when people, I can't say that they gossip, but a lot of times when people hang together like that and who's that? What does it matter who that is? That's a person coming to church. A lot of times that's where the gossip, a lot of times that's where the gossip sets in. First of all, the who's that, I heard it. And I'm glad it wasn't somebody that God was, really, really dealing with, and they was taking that step to go to church and maybe getting saved, and that who's that might have hindered them to leave, That's where I had a problem with that. Other than that, I didn't care. They thought I was the guest speaker's wife. I don't know that man. They was puzzled. But I had been there several times. And I do wear my hair different. And I guess that they, they thought, "Who is that?" You wear your hair different. Sometimes you look completely different. And you age every day. I do. I age every day. And my hair may have been cut since then. It was funny. Because I had been there before. But it doesn't matter if I hadn't never been there. That's not the way you say things. I wouldn't do that. No. Mm-mm. Somebody walks in, they walk in. I'm not going to sit there and say, who's that? Like, what are they doing here? Almost. But that did happen to me. It ain't been that long ago, and I'm like, I didn't let it bother me, but a lot of people would, honestly. Especially if they are out of the will of God, or they need to be saved, they want to get closer to God. Sometimes things like that might hinder them. And if I think for a second that I'm going to be a hinder to somebody, I'll go sit somewhere else. I don't want to be a hinder to anybody in church. That's true. That's the way I see it, but that was funny. Now when I go in, they're different. But I never said anything to them. It's just the way it is nowadays, I guess. I do too. I like to sit in the back. Now my daddy, he likes to sit like almost at the front. And I'm like, I don't want to sit up there, but I sit with him when I go to church with him. But if I go to church by myself, you'll find me in the back. Yeah. And most likely you'll find me near a door, because when that sermon's over, I'll fist bump. Nowadays you just fist bump. I try to fist bump people and go. Oh boy, me too. I like it right near the door so I can get to my car. I mean, I'll tell the preacher, if he preached a good sermon, of course, hey Steve, how are you? I'll tell the preacher, that's a good sermon. Yeah, I will. And then the ladies that sing, I'll tell them. If I see them. But other than that, I just head to the door. I do too. Anywhere I go, I'm going to find a door. Yep. I wish him the best, yeah. I'll say some prayers for him. But yeah, and two, whenever I go to church, I like to take it all in. And sometimes when you sit beside some people, they move all the time or something, I'll find out by the time I get out of there. Okay, thank you so much. I'm there to hear I'm there to hear the word and feed my soul, you know. And that's what I like to do. You too, you have a great day, great night, whatever. You know, you go to church for yourself. You don't go to church for John Henry over there in Henrietta. I know I'm sure not going to. I have sat by people and they talk through the whole service, and I don't like that. I know. Yeah. I'll get up and move. Oh, yes, I will. If they start that, if they hinder me, I will get up and move. Because I'm there to, to get a blessing. That's what I'm praying for. And I'm there, for me. And of course, to pray for everybody else. But if people comes like that and they just want to sit there and talk during the whole service, no. I'll get up and move. I've done it and I will do it. At tent revivals, I went to the tent revival, and this couple, they come, they sat right in front of me. I couldn't see that preacher. It was like he disappeared. And I couldn't see the preacher, and, so I just got up and I moved. Nothing against them, but I thought, well, he just plain disappeared. I could see him right up in plain sight. And I moved to where I could see him. I'm going to tell you right now, that preacher, he preached, and it was lightning, it was storming, rain was, rain was coming in. They was having to push the tent back up to get the rain to fall off so it wouldn't collapse on us. Honey, I sat right there, and I mean, it was dark outside. It was lightning. They had big fans going. I've gotten up and walked out before. Hey, sometimes when you already know, that's the best. Yeah, it was something else. But you know what? That was a good sermon. Eventually, it went on by. The storm did. I've got it on video. That lightning was just popping everywhere, and that thunder. And Lord, that rain was pouring. That lady said, you can move up here so you don't get wet. I said, I'm fine. I didn't get wet. But they was having, the men was getting up, pushing the tent up and pushing the water off of it. But it didn't stop the blessing. Nope. That's usually when it was a good one. It was. And we had some good singers. Well, it wasn't that night we had good singers. Well, they was good, but you know what I'm saying. We had some really good singers one night. Oh, goodness, they was good. But every night was good. It was. I love tent revivals. I went every single night. I hope they come back this year. I'll be there every night if I can. Yeah. Yeah, it was, let's see, Pentecostal preacher. But he was good. And then we had some, other preachers that preached too. From different areas. And that one night he said, you know what? He said, I preached and preached, and I just don't feel the Spirit tonight. He said, so I'm going to call it a night. And he did just that. But I didn't feel it that night, at that time neither, myself. I thought, well, I can't say nothing. But that's what he said. He said, I'm just not feeling that Spirit tonight. He said, so I'm going to call it a night, and I'm going to let everybody go. You go to a big church? I used to go to a big church. years ago. Most of the ones I go to, small church, and I love tent revivals. It does happen sometimes. You're exactly right. It does. And I think it happens in every church. But that man, he wasn't going to have it. He just didn't want to waste his time, and I don't blame him. And that's what he said. It was like a dry. It was just dry. It's what I call dry church. When you don't feel the spirit, you don't feel no movement, Everything is just like, you might as well say dead. And I guess he felt the same thing, because I wasn't feeling nothing. I didn't see nobody else around feeling nothing either. Or they didn't act like it. It's hard to find a good church. It is. That tent revival was really good. And the church I go to sometimes, well, I go to a couple of different ones, but the one that's in my mind right now, well, there's two of them. I'll have to say that those guys really speak the word. They do. And I'm going to tell you another good person to watch too. He preaches sometimes on Facebook and on YouTube. It's called A Daily Dose of Scriptures. Now that guy's good to listen to. He'll just tell you out just like it is. And I'm so familiar with that kind of preaching right there. I love that kind of preaching. You should check him out. Daily Dose of Scriptures is the name of it. Daily Dose of Scriptures. Now, I'm not saying they're perfect, and I'm not saying that you're going to agree with everything that he says, because I don't sometimes, no. But I have, but I do know people that does. We're not always going to agree on things, like tomato, you know what I'm saying? And that's okay. As long as you mostly agree with what they say. But he is on Facebook too. I think he's on TikTok too. And he's definitely on YouTube, because that's where I found him. I think he's from Abingdon, Virginia. But for the most part, I agree with about just about. I believe, just about the way he does. You have to drive 30 minutes or so. Yeah, I do too. Yeah, I know. I know what you're talking about. I have to drive too. But I like to go to church. There's nothing wrong with online churches, because sometimes when I don't get to go to church, I'll listen to them, But I feel like if you can get up and go to church, if you're able, you need to try. Because I see people coming with walkers, and, you need to at least try to go to church. Now, if you can't make it, try to attend one online. But sometimes I need to go to church. I have to go. But everybody has different opinions, and I'm not, saying that they're wrong or whatever. It's just, like I said, tomato. That's on them, the way they think. But if you got a church nearby, or you know one, I think you ought to get your butt up and go sometimes. Because there's a lot of people that would love to go and they can't. Yeah, I do too. I'm not perfect. Sometimes I don't get to go to church. But I'll sit and listen to, other preachers preach. We're not always going to agree on the same thing in life. That's just the way it is, and that's okay. Because it don't mean that the other person's wrong, or it might not mean I'm wrong. I just let them. It's free will. That's all I can say. And I think a lot of times if you get up and go to church, you feel better. Of course you do, because you are out. Now, sometimes I've been to church and I'm like, I don't know if this was a good idea or not. But usually by the end of the sermon, it was a good idea. Yeah, I'm getting ready to jump off. It was great. Yeah, it's so true. It is. It's true. And it's okay, that people don't agree. Just as long as, you respect one another, you're good to one another, you love one another. That's the way I see it. I'm not going to dislike somebody because they believe different than me. Now, some people will, though. I've seen it, and I'm like, okay, whatever. God bless you always. Thank you so much for coming in. And I know I probably sound like a basket case, but that's just who I am. Glad to hear your voice again, Melissa. Thank you, Roy. I'm glad to see you in here, Roy. Love and hugs to you, too. Prayers and love to you. I'm going to jump off here. I've been on here. I don't know how long. Oh, an hour and 21 minutes. Because the little counter is right there. Thank you. I appreciate you. Are you on Facebook? I'll keep you in mind too, Roy. And you always come back now, Roy. You hear me? Okay, Roy. You're a good one. I saw you go live a couple times. I hadn't got to watch much YouTube, but I will try to catch up with you. And I will recommend your channel. But I'll jump off here, and I hope y'all all have a blessed day and stay safe wherever you might be. I'll talk to you later. I'm glad you was here too. Talk to you later. You too. You too.